Welcome to the first ever Q&A rapid fire video of the channel. And what we're doing in this video is I'm going to be going through a bunch of questions that you guys left me in the last video, like I asked you to, and I'm going to be randomly just going through as many as I can where I give you guys answers as if you're my client. So you're going to get just whatever I would tell a client. I'm not going to gatekeep any information. I never do anyways, but I'm just going to give you straight up advice and you guys can apply it. And anyone who is just manifesting anything, even if you didn't get to ask a question or your question wasn't picked, I promise you that you're still going to be able to apply the answers that I'm giving you towards your situation. So if you're manifesting, let's say health as an example, and you see me answer some questions about money or love, understand the same concept applies, and vice versa. If you want money and I'm talking about love, same concept applies. Just switch the circumstance and apply the concepts, the answers, okay? So with that being said, let's have some fun. And if you guys enjoy this video, then all I ask is to just give me a like and also comment down below where you can tell me that you like it or your feedback, because if I get enough people that like it, I'm going to make this a permanent thing where I at least do this video once a month where I let you guys just ask a bunch and I'll go through as many as I can. Okay, guys? So without further ado, let's get going. So the first question I'm going to do, there's actually 3 questions I promised that I would answer first. So I don't want to break my promise to those people. Other than that, after the first 3 are going to be all random. Okay. So the first question is from Andrea, related to the question about my circumstance. I am a student in college who really wants to be rich and to help her family, but is constantly anxious and fearful about failure and the house, and multiple reasons why I can't achieve this because I am not good at manifesting because I have been trying for years. I forgot to put my end result, but it's pretty clear. I want to be super rich first, the first millionaire of my family. Now I'm going to watch the rest of the video. Okay. So thank you, Andrea, for the question. And obviously, like you said, you want to be the first millionaire. You want to be super rich, right? And you want to be the first one of your family. And that's great because you already have your ideal. And I tell people all the time, the moment you have your ideal and you understand like what it is you want as the end result, then half the battle's done. All that's left for you to do then is to just start remembering. It's to start remembering who you are. In other words, it's kind of like you have amnesia. And I like explaining this to clients as well, because think about it. If you had amnesia and like you just woke up and all your problems seem so real, but imagine someone came to you and reminded you, wait a second, this is not your life. Actually, you actually have that money. Like you literally have the millions already. You just forgot. And then when you think about like what that would feel like, if you just remembered that you had that, the millions, or in other words, you fast forward in time to the point where you're already successful and you just remembered that, then how would you feel, right? And when you really contemplate that, you're going to start thinking, oh my God, like, wow, it feels so good. I feel so much relief and whatever, security, gratitude, whatever. And it's because you're literally identifying with creation is finished just by contemplating that question. And that's why I kind of asked that question to you, right? For you to ask yourself, because think about it. Like that's what technically manifestation is. It's like you have amnesia, but you're just remembering. You're technically just remembering facts throughout the day when you crave things. That's really what mental diet is. It's understanding like, oh, I have to observe something and I know that I'm not rich. So in your situation, you know you're not rich and you know that you're not the first millionaire yet, but you understand if creation is finished and all possibilities exist, then there's really nothing to do other than remember, wait a second, I already have it. And if I keep claiming I have it and I feel the end result of it, right? And you do it through your own way, right? And obviously if this was a private call, I'd have enough time to like show you how to do it privately and stuff. But it's like, I'm sure you have your own way, whether it's, like me, I just react to thoughts. I just embody thoughts. Or if you like to create an image and then react to it, or you like to create a scene and step into it, it doesn't matter. It's all the same thing as long as the end result is the same. But when you start practicing remembering the new facts and you start remembering what you think it would feel like to be wealthy, and because you understand that you're doing this, you're returning to feeling wealthy and you're returning to kind of, feeling that relief, because you would obviously feel relief if you were a millionaire. Like think about it. Everybody watching this right now, just genuinely, even if you're not manifesting money, you can literally embody the state like with me. And you can just think about it right now, like genuinely. What if you genuinely had, let's say, $800,000 just put away in your bank right now, genuinely, right? And you contemplate that and you're going to think to yourself, okay, if I really had 800,000 just put in my bank and because that's like a luxury to have that, right? Like it'd be nice to have 800,000, right? For a lot of you are thinking like, yeah, if I had 800,000, oh my God, I could pay all my bills. I'd have all the groceries I want, full pantry. Maybe I get a different car. Maybe I start looking at a different place to live. And then you start feeling that security. That's the whole point. It's just about understanding who you are, right? And remembering who you are. Because if creation is finished, that means all realities exist, which means there's realities where you're already rich, where you have that money, where you have that success. So you have to keep remembering you have those things, and you do it through your own way that's natural to you. Affirmations, scripting, reacting to thoughts, things like this, okay? So just remember the whole point is start practicing returning to the awareness that you're already the person that has it, right? If you start just feeling wealthy, you start feeling rich and secure, feeling the pride that you would feel taking care of your family, like me, right? I take care of a lot of people, and a lot of people depend on me. And it's sometimes, I'm not going to say stressful, because it's very minimal. When you know the law, it's very hard to be stressed about things long term, but sometimes there is some weight, there is some pressure, right? And sometimes maybe once in a blue moon, it would be nice if just I had zero people leaning on me, right? But I also enjoy it because it keeps me hungry, it keeps me active. And the reward for me is much more greater than the pressure I feel of the weight on my back. Because it feels great to be able, like if your niece needs something, needs clothes, or has to do something for a field trip, and they need, money right away to get it. You know how good it feels to be able to say, here, just put it on my card and just spend whatever you need. Or if you take your family out to restaurants and you can pay the bill, do you know how good that feels? That feels amazing. And when you even start thinking about that, that's technically embodying the state of wealth. When you think of, oh my God, how good would it feel if I could just pay the bill and I could tip a 50% tip just because I can, right? When you start doing these things internally, the world has to reflect experiences to match that, so you can then experience that, okay? So I kind of hope that helped you. And let's get on to the next one. And the next one is from Anna, saying, after manifesting him back by doing sats, imagining our wedding anniversary a few years down the road. Good job, by the way. I ended up sending him some, because I said good job just because it was it's a good scene. That's what I meant. I ended up sending him some reproachful and not so nice messages while drunk because he was ignoring and not prioritizing me. He blocked me everywhere again. ... I want him back. Okay, great. I completely get it, right? And here's the thing I tell clients all the time, right? They come to me and they're so afraid of their past. They're so afraid of, the things that they said or fights that they've had, and, whatever else it may be. And they often tell me that, oh no, but I said this and these things were horrible, and how can he forgive me? And, I'm embarrassed now, and all these events. And I tell people all the time, it's like, no, your job is to understand that whatever happened, period. It's done. It's in the past. It's okay. That's set. Okay. But what we do starting now, moving forward, and tomorrow, and even before tomorrow, even the next hour, and the hour after that, and the hour after that, if you can consistently kind of ask yourself every hour, have I stayed true to who I really am, who I said I was an hour ago? And if you can start practicing doing that, you're going to start noticing the things changing. In other words, the past doesn't matter anymore, right? Even though technically it's all existing now, the past in the linear sense doesn't matter anymore, because you now understand, wait a second, if I can stay true to who I claim I was now, and an hour from now, and then an hour after that, and then an hour after that, where pretty much you look back an hour behind and you're like, okay, I didn't contradict myself for the last hour, and I did fulfill myself at least once. Okay, that's a good hour. Great. Next hour passes, maybe no contradictions, but maybe no wish fulfilled. Great, that's a good hour in my opinion, because you didn't screw up anything you did in the first hour. And then the third hour, okay, maybe you felt hungry twice, so you fulfilled yourself twice. So the reason I'm telling you this is so you understand that it's the consistency which is then going to build momentum within you, which is then going to change your beliefs and then get them back. And it's so you understand you can take the focus off of the problem. So moving forward, who cares about the things you sent? Who cares about how bad they were? And just to touch on the ignoring and not prioritizing, that happens because obviously you're wavering within, right? If you get some movement here, but then they're ignoring you, not prioritizing you, and now that's the lens to which you view life from. In other words, you wake up and your first perspective is, okay, I'm being ignored. I have to manifest not being ignored. And if that's the perspective or the state that you view your life through the entire day, most of the day, then of course you're going to continue being ignored. But your job is, when you start noticing that he's ignoring you and that you're not getting kind of the attention you want and prefer. You have to decide to catch yourself in that moment and remember that, wait a second, I'm aware of the thing I don't like. And if I keep being aware of the problem and then reacting to it and being upset by it, I am technically as God of my personal reality saying, I want to give myself an experience tomorrow and the day after and so on, where it kind of repeats the same, lack of worthiness that I'm feeling. Because think about it. If you genuinely had the belief that you were worthy, then this ignoring wouldn't bother you. You would trust that he's going to come around because maybe he's busy or something. And it would be a different reaction and a different experience that you would have then. But obviously, you were dwelling in the, he's ignoring me and he's not prioritizing me. In other words, you're in the woe is me, I'm not good enough, state, which is okay. You're human. But I'm just telling you because you have to see this. And when you're in that state, just remember that feeling a state produces a state. That's what Neville says, which is true. So if you continue feeling not prioritized and not worthy, guess what? Tomorrow's going to be the same. But guess what? If you now catch yourself recognizing, oh no, I'm feeling ignored. I'm feeling, like he's not prioritizing me. Okay, so what? You got there because your beliefs and your bad decisions, your poor mental diet led you there. So what? Take responsibility. That's okay. No harm done. I don't judge you. But now that we're here at the dance, let's dance now. Let's have some fun. And the dance is, we're going to mental diet. So moving forward, whenever you catch him, in other words, not prioritizing you and you're focused on it and you feel ignored and you're not getting the life that you want and the responses you want out of him, you have to remind yourself, creation is finished, which is redundant because you heard me on the first answer, same concept, right? Creation is finished. And I repeat it for a reason. If you understand that there's realities where he is loving you, where you do have their heart, where no matter how pretty someone is, they're always going to come to you because you're worthy. And because you're chosen and because it's your reality and because you're unique and you cannot be replaced by anybody else, because there is no soul that is an identical mirror to you. It's not there's no match. You're unique to yourself. So if you understand and truly accept that because you are unique, you can't be replaced, and therefore he is able to love you the way that you want to be loved, and in those realities, that's what's happening. And now you return to those realities. You feel loved by him. You think to yourself, okay, well, what would we be doing in those realities? How would I feel if in the parts of creation is finished where he's giving me the love I want? How would I genuinely feel if he was doing that for me, right? And then maybe your brain jumps to the thoughts of holding hands with him. Maybe it jumps to the dates with him or something like that, right? And now that you're aware of dates with him and cuddling and holding hands and stuff, now you step into the image, right? Now you understand, yes, I'm not being prioritized today, but I understand if I feel prioritized and I return to that and I refuse to look at the 3D and then let it trigger me, which is what you did, which then responds, it recycles the issue for you. It's going to keep happening. That, like, you're literally in the cycle right now. But if instead you catch that and you recognize, wait a second, I feel loved because if I claim I'm loved now and an hour from now I still return to being loved and I don't contradict that and I just understand that what I continually do within myself is going to be reflected externally into my experience, then it makes no sense to do anything other than feel loved and be loved and to identify with the unseen, with the creation is finished. And that's why it's so vital that you have to understand you can't look at the ignoring and then get mad and be like, oh, he's ignoring me, he's not prioritizing me. That's the cycle that's keeping you stuck there. You have to catch that and say, enough is enough. Yes, I don't like this, but I can still choose to understand I only feel this way because I'm believing that I'm not worthy. You then catch yourself believing that and you remind yourself it's a silly belief that you just agreed to. But when you understand that all beliefs are available for you to embody, why not ask yourself, what would it feel like if I was worthy? What would it feel like if I had their heart and no other woman could steal him? And then when you start dissolving the bad belief and you grab onto the good one, now it's going to be a lot easier for you to then focus on what if he is prioritizing me, right? What do those realities look like? What if I was in the reality where he was texting me all day, and then you contemplate that and you think to yourself, yeah, that would be actually really nice. And boom, you feel that relief. Good job, you planted the seed, and it's that simple, okay? Just have fun with it. I wish I could spend more time kind of breaking things down, but it's a rapid fire, and I'm trying to spend like 10 minutes on each person, but I kind of hope that answers your question. It's just stay focused to the end and understand that what you do continually is going to be your experience. Trust the unseen, in other words, your imagination, over the 3D, because what you do in here comes first, and then it goes out there second. So if you know that, then why are you going to look out there if it's second and then react in here, knowing that in here spawns out there? It makes no sense, okay? So remember that. Okay, on to the third one. And the third one says, broke, no income. And sorry, it's from Shauna. Broke, no income, behind on bills. Consistently steady income with where more money comes easily and effortlessly. Okay, so you pretty much just want more money. You want to get your bills solved, and you don't want to be broke and have no income. Okay, so same concept as like the first kind of the first question I did, right? They wanted money and they want to be the first millionaire, and you want to not be broke and have income. So it's kind of similar, even though they have an idea of what they want, in the sense of like they want millions. So it doesn't matter if you want millions or you just want to make a steady income, doesn't matter. There's obviously an ideal that you would prefer. And if that ideal is something you prefer, then and that ideal being obviously having income, being wealthy, it's kind of you have all your bills covered. And let's even talk about solving the current behind on bills. If you want all these things, they all have solutions. They all have realities. Like right now, there's realities where if you're behind on bills today, there's realities where technically things happen and you just get the funds where the bills are covered. Or something happens. I can't even explain it. I don't even want to say that like someone pays it for you, because it's like that's just one of unlimited options. But number one, we'll address the no income, behind on bills, and broke part, and then I'll kind of show you how to do the steady income and stuff after. So if you're broke and you got no income and you're behind on bills, first things first is you want to literally start reminding yourself that every time you're aware of the problem, you also have to remind yourself that the solution equally exists. It's equally valid. And when you understand it's equally valid, and that all you have to do is by trusting in the solution and trusting that what you do within yourself dominantly is going to become your experience. Because remember, states just means set of beliefs. When you enter a state, you've entered a set of beliefs. So if you're manifesting love as an example, and you embody the state of finally being with the person you love the most, where they're actually yours, then in that reality, where you're doing that, you're literally identifying with the belief systems that are required for you to manifest them, because you could not feel the results of that being true unless you were in the belief system first, right? Because the beliefs come first and then the emotions come second. And that's how it always works. So in your situation, if I was in your shoes, if I was broke and had no income and I was behind on bills, I would remind myself, the solution exists already. I don't know how, but I know there's a lot of realities where the solutions are solved, where everything is there. The solutions are already existing. And if I understand this and I truly trust this and I really want to test God, then my job is to understand, okay, let's just see how much power I have in me. I'm going to start focusing on what it would feel like if I had all the problems in my life solved. If I had the money paid, I had a job and steady income, then guess how would I feel? And when I ask myself that, I genuinely think about it. And, when I think about it, for me, it would be like a sense of relief, right? And that's kind of what I was doing when I was like broke and originally discovered the law. I didn't have the life that I have now, where I have the luxuries to do whatever I want and the freedom and stuff like that. And I'm in a good position in life. I can give as much time as I want to the person I love whenever I want. If I want to, I can spend as much time with anyone. I can do whatever I want for the most part. And I have a very comfortable lifestyle. And I didn't have this lifestyle before. So just as I was in your shoes, I understood, if creation is finished and everything exists, then all I have to do is start feeling the results of the solution. So I started feeling wealthy. I started thinking, what would it feel like if I was driving, let's say, a Rolls Royce, to the grocery store? How would I feel getting out of the car? And just even thinking of that and knowing that everyone's going to be looking at me because I'm way too young to be driving a car like that. And knowing that what that car symbolizes wealth. It symbolizes like I have FU money. Like I could literally afford minimum quarter million, by the way, like probably closer to like 300,000-400,000 like car. And it's like, okay, if I have that car, it symbolizes I'm secure, and everyone's looking at me because they're thinking, wow, like this guy made it. What the hell does he do for a living? And trust me, when people look at you like that, it feels good. It feels really good. And when you start thinking about like, oh my God, that would feel so good and so relieving. That's how I felt. And I felt proud. I felt truly successful for the first time in my life. And I kept returning to that, right? I kept driving my favorite cars in my mind. I kept spoiling the person I loved in my mind. I kept buying them flowers and gifts and taking them on dates and seeing their reactions in my mind of how they would react to me spending this money on them. And I took, ironically enough, I even imagined, taking my family out to dinners and paying the bills. And that's something that I've done now in the past. And it's so funny that like, it just happens like that. Something I thought years ago eventually happens, right? And it's like a normal thing. If I want to take anyone out, I can pay the bill, no problem. And that's what you have to do. The same way that I can live now, where I can now pay the bills and not have to worry about a thing. I can spoil people, whatever. I have to, at one point I had to feel what I'm able to do now, but back then I couldn't do it. Does that make sense? So you have to then start focusing on, okay, so if I had the bills paid, how would that feel? If I had the money, how would that feel? If I was making the steady income, genuinely, how do you think you would feel if you were 3 months now in a row making steady income? And pick a number. It doesn't matter whether it's 10,000 a month, 5,000 a month, 20,000 a month, 40,000 a month. It doesn't matter. But how do you think it would feel if you were making that income? Right? Genuinely. And when you contemplate these questions, you're going to then get reactions. So that's what I want you to do, okay? And if you want money to come effortless and easily, then think about it. Like if creation is finished and we know that everything is existing all at once, there's no, nothing doesn't exist. There's no such thing as nothing. So if there's no separation between realities. There's not even like a little inch where you can squeeze in a little gap of space, because everything already exists. Then that means there's realities where technically money does flow easily to you. So genuinely, how would it feel if that was your regular experience? If you didn't have to work, even if you had a life like mine, where you're very flexible and money just comes in through various forms, right? And you can just go wherever you want and buy whatever you want and shop whatever you want. And genuinely, how do you think it would feel? And by doing these little questionnaires in your head of just really stepping into other realities and playing around with them, like Seth and Neville teach, you're actually embodying those beliefs, which then will reflect that into your reality, if that makes sense, okay? So just remember, be consistent, return to the solutions. You want to have steady income and money and your bills paid? Great. Embody the person who believes that they already are. So how would it feel if those things were all true? And go to where your heart takes you. If your heart wants to drive in a luxury car and that's what it's thinking of in the moment, then embody that. How would it feel if that was true? And right then and there, you can only have that if you were making money. So embody driving that car. Embody thinking of going grocery shopping where you can have everything you want. And just like me, I don't have to check the price anymore. I used to have to buy stuff on sale and really budget. Now I just buy whatever the hell I want. I don't give a crap. And trust me, I grab things like they're nothing at the grocery store. And I see some looks sometimes people give me where they're just like, wow, like I could tell in their head they're most likely thinking, oh, it must be nice, because they just see me grabbing things willy-nilly. But the thing is like we each shape our own reality. They could have the same results too. It's just they have beliefs about money that I don't, right? So just remember that. Always focus on who you want to be and identify with that, and remind yourself by identifying with it continually and refusing to trust in the 3D more than what you're doing in here, you're then going to get the end result sooner than later, because that is law, okay? So those are the 3 questions, and let's jump on to the next one now. We're going to free ball this one, okay? I'll try to, how many minutes? We're 22 minutes in, okay. I'll try to get through some quick. So my SB got engaged to someone else, and we're in no contact. Okay, you want them back and stuff. So if your SB got engaged and, you want them back and stuff, here's the beautiful part. Like Seth teaches, and it's not something I kind of talk publicly because I don't, and this is my belief, but I just don't think a lot of people are ready for certain conversations about the law. I just think that a majority of the community is like not immature, but they're just not developed yet. They're just not ready to hear certain things, right? But one thing I will say that I don't mind talking about publicly is like the morality first, right? So first things first, engage to someone else, and a lot of viewers have, especially clients, have come to me with morality concerns, right? Because a lot of my clients, like, they wanted someone who has kids already and they're married and happy and they don't want to break up the family. And trust me, I've seen it all. And I want to remind you guys of something that both Seth and Neville touch on, but Seth touches more on this through Jane Roberts. There's no such thing as morality. I know this might sound crazy to you guys, and some of you guys might even run to the internet and be like, oh my God, he said this. He's not reputable anymore. Go ahead. Trust me, I don't care. And there's no such thing as morality. There's no good or evil, right or wrong. And you can interpret that as ignorant as you want, or you can just understand, like, I'm not saying this to be like, oh, you should be a bad person. It's more so to understand, like, everything has to be consented to. So if I'm going to do something bad to you, in other words, I'm going to manifest you breaking up with your fiance because I want you for myself. The fact, and let's say even better, let's say that person's cheating, right? Let's say they're cheating on their fiance with me, and I'm manifesting them. If that person tells me, I'm morally worried, right? It's like in my brain, I understand the only reason they're doing these things is, number one, their fiance has terrible beliefs, and those beliefs are being picked up on by that person that I'm manifesting. And she is then going to reflect his fears back to him through me, through cheating on me. And just like that, we're all three playing a role in the co-creation. So physically, yes, they may not understand what's happening or why it's happening, but on the higher level, all three of our souls understand this. We understand that there's no morality, because the person they're with has to have shitty beliefs. In other words, like bad beliefs, for that person that I'm manifesting to be mine. Because if they had good beliefs and then I had terrible beliefs, then I would never experience that person. But if I'm over here with good beliefs and I'm embodying the state and I'm doing well, then she's going to reflect his fears by cheating on him with me and giving me the love, right? And giving me her heart, and then eventually breaking up with him and then coming to me. And it might look like, oh my God, Michael broke them up and did this and that. No, it's not that. That would have happened anyways, because if it wasn't me, it would have been someone else. The breakup would have happened anyways. That person's bad beliefs is being picked up on by the person that they're married to or engaged to. And like I mentioned, and just like that, that cancels out the whole morality thing, because you now understand on a higher plane, it has to be agreed on. His bad beliefs are consented to, which means her, in other words, picking up on that telepathically on a higher level, whether she knows it or not, it's not her fault. She's literally playing out scripture. She's literally playing out the role. She's doing everyone as you pushed out. And I'm doing everyone as you pushed out because he's afraid of me, or of just in general of a third party stealing away his woman or whatever, or he thinks he's not good enough or whatever it may be. It doesn't matter. And then that gets picked up by me being like, I want to manifest her. Like, I have to have her, And just like I said, we're all co-creating. So therefore, when we all die, we're going to laugh and we're going to probably chuckle and just be like, oh, damn, you got me. Like, I should have had those damn beliefs. Okay, thank you for showing me that lesson. That's how it'll be when we die. But in this human earth, we're like, nope, screw you. Like, I want this as mine. But that's how it is. So understanding this, just understand that, like, I promise you, there's realities. Like I said, there's unlimited realities. And it may not look like there's realities where they are happy and want you instead and are willing to cheat on them with you or whatever. And if that's your case, don't even worry about it. Because trust me, there's realities where that person they're with has terrible beliefs. There's realities where that person they're with treats them terrible. And I'm telling you, I've seen it myself. Money is not enough to keep someone happy and to stay with you if you treat them like crap, if you have bad beliefs. And I'm telling you this, guys, I've seen it 1,000 times. And when you realize this and you understand, okay, so it doesn't matter how good someone is. What matters is, how does my partner feel, the one I love feel? So when you kind of understand, like, there's realities where your partner is not happy with them and there's going to be breakups for a trillion different reasons and a trillion different realities, then let's start focusing on the end result. And the end result is us being together, because we now understand the breakups are going to happen. If creation is finished, there's breakups already created. So all we are doing is identifying with the solution. We're not focusing on the breakup. We understand that something has to happen, whether it's, they get cheated on, whether it's there's a big fight, whether their partner that they're with, that they're engaged with, is, treating them terribly and abusive in some form. It doesn't matter. But whatever it is, that's all being consented to by all three parties. So when you understand, okay, if I know that I don't know the how, I don't understand how it's going to happen, but I understand that God is smart enough to figure it out. And if God is smart enough to figure it out, then all I have to do is understand, let's feel loved. So all I want you to do is, whenever you think of your SP, don't look at them as engaged. Don't look at them as, oh no, I hope I get them. Can I do this? No, don't do that. Instead, understand, whatever you do consistently within yourself, whatever your beliefs are, and whatever you expect, and pretty, because expectation is like a key. I might even make my next video on that. But whatever you expect is definitely going to be your result as well. And moving forward, if I was in your shoes, all I would do is, when I think of the SP, I don't give a crap about the problems. I go straight to the solution. And I start embodying being loved by them, right? So since I'm straight, I'm obviously going to manifest a woman, right? So I'll just say it from my perspective. If I'm manifesting a female SP, a girl SP, and let's say they're married, I understand, okay, it doesn't matter if they're married. I'm just going to focus on the end. And what do I want to be doing with us? I want her here with me. I want her living with me. I want us going on dates. I want us going on the lake where I live by. And I want us just, hold hands on the boardwalk over here and just be cute and sweet and take her on dates. And I know there's an ice cream shop, like a little hut on the boardwalk there, that late at night in the summer, that like it would be so cute to have a little break. Like, I go to these little dates in my head with her and I start feeling loved by her. I start feeling that she's here with me. I start, even if I'm driving and I crave her in that moment, and I know she's not beside me in the passenger seat, I can still feel what it would feel like if my hand was on her lap and I felt her hand, and her hand was on top of mine, being affectionate. And because that's how I am as a driver, I always have my hand on my woman's lap, and that's what I prefer. So if I know these are the things that I do, then in my opinion, what is there to do other than enjoy the parts of creation that are finished? I'm enjoying the experience before it's an actual physical experience. And that's what manifestation is. You're drawing it within, and that's how you bring heaven down to you. And once it's who you are dominantly, then it reflects, and then it gets thrown out to your direction. So your only job is to then embody the experience, right? Step into those thoughts. Whatever it is you're craving from them at any point, give it to yourself. And then when you're not hungry for them, all you got to do is make sure don't go to hell. Don't then look at the 3D and be like, oh no, they posted a picture, they look so happy together. No, the 3D is the past. It's not today. So if you understand it's the past of what you're doing internally, if they posted that picture today, okay, that was created days and weeks ago. But starting today and tomorrow and the day after, so on and so on, if you keep being consistent with your mental diet, I'm telling you, those happy lovey-dovey pictures are going to change. There's going to be different stories behind the scene. And I'm telling you, so many times things seem good, but behind the scenes, they're not what you think at all, okay? So focus on the end result. That's all I want you to do, is embody the state of being with them already in any way that's fun for you, right? Embody that state again and again and have fun with it. Just understand it's only temporary that you're dealing with the situation. And the more you trust that by feeling loved by them, it's going to eventually get picked up by them, and then it's going to reflect, then the more joyful expectation you can have, which in my opinion is one of the most powerful ways to manifest, okay? All right, so let's do another question here. I have it pulled up here, actually. Let me just see. I'll try to get a few more down. Okay. Let's see. Let me find one that hopefully isn't like 10 paragraphs. Some people accidentally like put like 10 paragraphs, and I don't think I can do those in these videos. It'll take forever. Let me see. That one's money. I want to do something different. Let me see. One second. Sorry for the delay, guys, by the way. Thank you for the patience. Oh, that's a regular question. Current day. Sorry, I literally thought I would find questions a lot easier, but oh my god, these are like mass. Holy crap, this one's like 13 paragraphs. Okay, Curran, my SP is so emotionally detached. He doesn't show emotions. And this is for Caramel, by the way. He doesn't show emotions, doesn't value love and relationships with women, can be quite cold sometimes. We haven't spoken in many months, but he still watches me on Instagram all the time. He likes my posts, etc. He just won't make the effort to reconcile with me. I want him to apologize for his past hurtful behavior and to make a genuine effort in reconciling our relationship. I want him to stop being so emotionally cold and actually allow us to create an emotional bond. Okay, so I mean, to be honest, like when I hear things like this, my brain just already categorizes the answers, right? So emotionally detached. So you obviously, law of polarity, opposites exist. So if I know the opposite exists, so there's realities where he is detached. So my brain already knows, let's start focusing on that. But we'll get into that in a second. He doesn't show emotions. Same concept, law of polarity. There's realities where versions of him do show emotions. And now it's our job to start viewing them that way. And doesn't value love. Same concept, law of polarity. Remember, you're starting to see a pattern in the answers, right? There's always creation is finished tied into everything. In other words, the opposite. So if you're focused on something bad, the opposite also has to exist. That's the law of polarity. And I love reminding myself of that because you understand no matter how scared you are, the solution has to exist. There can't be a problem that doesn't have a solution, period, okay? So all these things that you're mentioning right then and there, just remember the opposite exists. In other words, the versions that are the opposite that you prefer, right, where he's actually trying to reconcile with you and do all these things, they all exist, okay? And you said you haven't spoken in months, and he watches your Instagram all the time and likes your post. In my opinion, if I was in your shoes and I'm manifesting someone and they're doing that, even if they're distant, but they're still looking at my reels and liking my posts and stuff, I genuinely would start assigning that certain meaning. Because remember, if creation is finished, and I don't want to sound like the I don't know how to call it. I don't have a word for people that do this, but just people that teach the law, but like really fake motivation-y, where it's like they just hype you up and stuff. So I don't want to sound like I'm hyping you up, but genuinely, like, this is an instance where it doesn't hurt. It's not a lie to hype you up, where you hype yourself up. So think about it. If creation is finished and all realities exist, everything exists at once, right? And you can Like whatever you can think of is done, and all creation exists, meaning there's versions unlimited of him and unlimited of you and unlimited of me and so on and so on. That means there's realities where he's literally liking your post because he still has feelings for you, right? They're liking your post because they want to be with you, and they start seeing and watching you all the time because they want to be with you. And for whatever reason, they're just not committing yet, which is obviously the reason your beliefs. So if you now understand, hey, wait a minute, so they're still doing this, which means I have some beliefs that are good in me, then what would I feel like if genuinely, and this is where I like to use the 3D as a placebo. So now that you know he's watching and liking your post, every time he likes your post, how do you feel? Imagine God came down and told you, every time he likes your post, it's because he genuinely loves you in that moment and he wants to be with you. And you're actually getting a little bit closer to being with him. As long as you continue your good mental diet, that's going to be the result. So every time he likes and watches, it's because he can't stay away from you. It's because he's getting drawn to you. But every time you screw up and you start looking at the lack and him not committing and whatever else bothers you, the lack of effort of reconciling with you, and then you react to it, God then tells you, okay, so that's why he's not fully committing though. And if you can cut that off and you keep doing the good part only, you're going to get him. Then logically, wouldn't you feel relieved every time you see he watches something from you or likes something from you, which is then going to trigger you, right? It's going to, in a good way, it's going to trigger that placebo where you recognize, okay, if he liked me, because remember, there's realities where he doesn't like your stuff, and there's realities where he doesn't watch your stuff, and that would feel even worse, right? So let's use this to our advantage. So every time he likes your stuff and watches your stuff, or you even think about the memory that he liked something in the past or watches your stuff, how do you feel knowing that he did it because he's yours, because he loves you, because you are his and he is yours? And even go deeper than that. How would you feel if you guys were dating for 30 days now? 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. How would you feel in a 1-year anniversary compared to today? So think of all your problems right now, and then think of the 1-year anniversary where everything is great. Put yourself in the perspective of the 1-year anniversary. How do you think up there that version of you at the 1-year anniversary would feel looking at the version of you today with your problems? How do you think, right? Think about it. You fast forward a year and now you remember today's problems. But a year from now, everything is solved and you've been great for a year straight. When you look back at today's issues of everything you just listed in the comment, wouldn't you smile and laugh and feel relief to be like, oh, I worried for nothing? That right there is the way you can embody the state. The end result is the same thing that I've answered for every single person so far. It's returning to the solution. You want to be with this person. It doesn't matter if they're engaged or whatever. Focus on the end result. Be with them, living with them, going on dates with them, kissing them, holding them, showering with them, cooking for them. Whatever it is you want to do these things in your head and trust that because you're experiencing them internally and you're embodying the wish fulfilled and you're identifying with it, even if you just think about it, that's completely fine because thoughts have their own frequency. They do have a benefit as well. And you understand, hey, just because I thought about it and I keep expecting it to happen, that's good enough too. And the more you trust that what you do inside is going to be reflected, then you understand, I don't give a crap if they're engaged. One day something's going to happen where I get the news that they're single and that they want to be with me now. And think about, even that alone is a placebo. How do you think it would feel to finally get that message to where they finally tell you we broke up, ... Like imagine you got that message. Woo, you probably feel some relief right there. You'd be like, oh my God, yes. You'll be like, okay, then we're halfway there. And now you got the momentum. I'm even excited for you. Look at my state. My state just switched for you, right? I'm excited for you thinking of that. So just remember that, okay? All right, let's see. Current circumstance. There's so many SP stuff. Let's see. I lost my job. Okay, current. I lost my job. I've missed too many days of school, so I am truant. I have no friends. And my ex doesn't want anything to do with me. I'm constantly fighting with my parents. The end result I want, I have my ex-boyfriend back. My grades went up with ease. My job will help me get work experience for my future. I have friends who care about me. I've lost weight and mended things with my family. Okay, so that's a lot of things to do. And since you have a lot of goals, honestly, I would kind of wrap it into one big thing. Because think about it. I'm sure you can think about it like this. Imagine you have all those realities where each thing you have them, but there's realities where you have all of them combined. So imagine you had the friends and you've lost the weight and you've mended things with your family and you got the work and the experience and your grades went up and boyfriend back, all these things, right? So instead of planting seeds all day, because normally if someone has like 2 or 3 desires, I'll teach them the pinball technique, which is something I haven't taught anyone in a while, but I would do a pinball technique, which I'll make a short video to it one day. And because that's something you could bounce between all day through different desires. But because you have so many, I would take a page out of Neville's book where I just focus on combining it all. And that doesn't mean you have to then process every single desire individually and then think about them and then embody. No, it's just like, understand that, just think of the question. If it was all solved, how do I think it would feel? Genuinely, if I had just everything that you listed, that you're aware of in your mind, just ask yourself, if I genuinely had all those things right now, how do I think I would feel? And genuinely ask yourself that question, and your body's going to give you a reaction when you really think about having all those things as the solution now, and that's your current life, and you just genuinely contemplate what that reality would feel like. Just for 1 second, you playfully pretend and you step into that. You're going to notice something hits you, and that's the result of the wish fulfilled. And trust me, higher self knows that means everything is solved. And if you want to do it that way, and it's my opinion, it's much simpler, then go for it. But if you want to do it kind of individual, and your only job is every single time you crave any of those end results, right? Because maybe the first hour you're awake, maybe you're craving your ex-boyfriend. Maybe 10 minutes later, you're craving, your grades going up. Maybe you're craving the job, the job experience result. Whatever it is, whenever they pop up, you have to start reminding yourself that by embodying the state of having the solution or having the beliefs of the solution, that's how you draw it onto your experience. So if you know this, then moving forward, why don't you just sit there, and it's not sit there and like literally, but it's just like do whatever you're doing in your day, but when they pop up individually, go straight to the end. Don't even give yourself time to like contemplate things. Just go straight to the end, right? Because when people have a lot of desires, they get too stuck on one scene here and one thing there. And by the end of the day, they've planted 2 seeds and then they've planted 30 negative ones. No, just go straight to the end. You're thinking of your ex, remind yourself, creation is finished. If creation is finished, that means there's reality, we're back together. Same thing. Then how would that actually feel if that was your life now? And now that you understand, because you're feeling that they're back with you now, that's you living by the law. And if you keep living by the law and refusing to look at the 3D and be bothered by it, because you understand, hey, I'm returning to the wish fulfilled, whether it's combining all the goals or individually planting seeds for each of them, because I do this, the solutions are going to make their way to me. And as Neville says, like, every problem has a solution, and it doesn't matter how, like, if you can figure it out. What matters is, can you believe in the solutions? So can you believe that all those things are already true when you think about it? When you think about your life, can you truly feel the relief of having been past all of these negative experiences you're facing? Because if you can return to that again and again and again, you're going to have a lot of fun, and you're going to kind of make life a little bit more enjoyable. Just remember that, okay? So it's all about, and you're going to notice the pattern in this video is really touching on creation is finished a lot, because that's the whole point. In my opinion, it's the most important concept in the whole law of assumption. If you don't memorize that creation is finished, meaning there's unlimited realities where everything exists, where everything is a possibility, where it's already yours, and the way that you experience these things is by identifying with those realities over your current one. And the more you identify with those over your current one, and the more you return to them in fun different ways, and you walk in that trust that, hey, I don't care what I see today in the 3D, I don't care what pops up in my mind, because I'm doing the work, because I'm going to the wish fulfilled, and I understand that by continually returning to these beliefs, I'm making the habit of making these beliefs natural to me. And once those beliefs become natural to me, game over. That's when the results come that same day. So it might take you 3 days to change your beliefs like it did for me on the first week I discovered the law. It might take you 6 days. It might take you 10 days. It might take you 30 days. Who knows? In my opinion, if you're consistent, you're not going to need more than 30 days if you're consistent, in my opinion, at least to change your beliefs or to do at least a good overhaul of your beliefs. It's just consistency is the part where people screw up on. So if you start understanding that you are literally a God living in a world that reflects your belief system, and because you can change your belief system and because you can embody different beliefs, then that technically means you're in full control. So if you're in full control, then what is there to fear? If you get what you continually do internally, then does it not make sense to start feeling the solution to every single problem when you think about it? Does it not make sense to trust that what you're doing within is going to be given to you without? That's what all the ancients talk about. And if this wasn't true, don't you think that someone even before you were born would have debunked this? There's a reason why it hasn't been debunked thoroughly, because no one can debunk it. That's why Neville challenges people to tell them, I dare you to debunk this, but in order to debunk it, you have to live by it. And by living by it, you're going to get results, and therefore you're going to prove it correct. That's kind of what happened to me. So just remember, as long as you're consistent to the creation is finished concept, understanding that everyone is you pushed out, and that you get what you concentrate upon, as Seth says, and there is no other main rule. And therefore, what makes sense? Let's concentrate on the solutions to every single problem you listed. What if all of them were just solved? Forget about individually if that's too much for you. Just think of all of them. Put them all together. What if everything you just listed was solved? Wouldn't that be like a nice relief off you? And that's what you got to think about, okay? So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy this video. In the next one I do, I'm going to try to keep it a little bit shorter and get through more questions, because I feel I kind of spent a little too much time on individual questions, but I think it was kind of needed though, because you can't say one thing without the other. So I'm going to get better and better at doing this, and I hope you guys like this one. So remember, all the concepts I talked about can be applied to your situation. It's all about just returning to new belief systems, which then become habitual to you. Once they become habitual, it reflects. And the more you practice doing this, if you're just consistent 1, 2, 3 days in a row, trust me, it's going to start becoming automatic. The problem is most people don't make it 3 days in a row. They don't even make it 7 days in a row, let alone 2 days in a row. So don't be like the average person, right? Be consistent. What do you have to lose, right? Especially if you're just a viewer. If you've never given me money, you got nothing to lose. Just test the law out for yourself. I promise you, you're going to be surprised, okay? So with that being said, take care, guys, and keep an eye out for the next video, because I'm going to be announcing the membership stuff, because I already got approved, by the way. I forgot to tell you guys. I got approved, and it's 2 tiers. I'm going to talk about it probably in the next video. But long story short, the 3rd tier I'll be doing, which is the one everyone wants, is the book club one. But that one will come a couple months down the road. I still got to figure some stuff out for that. But the 1st tier is going to be very simple. It's same thing, extra video. We're going to have, community posts. You're going to be able to shape the content that we put out. You're going to get to voice your opinion on what you want me to release next, so on and so on. And there's going to be a bunch of other benefits. Trust me, there's a lot of stuff. More stuff than you get that you're expecting. Trust me, you're going to be shocked. And for the second, obviously, you get everything the first one gets. But on top of that, the second one will have the weekly Q&As, where it'll be minimum 30 to 90 minutes, probably at least an hour minimum each time, to be honest, if I'm being honest. But I just said 30 minutes to 90 just in case I have like an emergency or a client that day that's waiting on me or something. But every week. So you're pretty much going to get, anywhere from probably 4 hours a week 4 hours a month with me, at the bare minimum. And that's not including the spontaneous Q&As that I'm going to be doing. That's not including the random where, sometimes I just want to get on live and I want to just chat with you guys and answer questions. And there's a lot of times in my day where I have free time, where I can then take a break for 20, 30 minutes, stream live, and then just throw me whatever you want. You get private coaching then and there. So trust me, guys, like, there's so many benefits coming your way, and I can't wait to get that launched. So keep an eye out for the next video, and I look forward to seeing you guys. So enjoy.